Discoveries, inventions, and explorations are often accompanied with interesting stories. Such stories form a vivid imprint on our mind, like a curious Newton sitting under an apple tree. Gravity comes to our mind. Today, as India celebrates National Science Day, I'm here to tell you the story why we celebrate it. In the year 1921, Sir C V Raman went on his first overseas journey to London. On his way back, he was enjoying the view on top of the deck. He looked around and he looked perplexed. He was just thinking, what? What am I seeing? The glass of water in his hand is clear, but the water in the Mediterranean Sea looks blue. Why is that so? I am so sure that this thought must have crossed across our mind many a times. Often in life, when we get a question or a doubt, we would either dismiss it saying it's silly, should I even ask this question aloud? Or probably we would try it for some time and then just give up. When we read the autobiographies of famous people, successful people, inventors, scientists, we come across one thing, that they try to find simple solutions for simple questions. They turned these questions into opportunities and they became immortal. This is exactly what Sir C V Raman did. He got this question as to why the Mediterranean Sea water is blue. He collected samples of water throughout his journey back to India. And on the way he wrote many observations from the data collected. He then sent the papers to a science magazine called Nature. There was this person who answered back to him saying, the water is blue because the sky is blue and the reflection of the sky makes the water blue. This didn't satisfy Sir C V Raman. He had this question that at some part of the sea the blue was pale blue, and whereas somewhere else it was turquoise green and elsewhere it was bright blue. The person who gave this explanation was none other than Sir Raleigh, who had won a Nobel Prize for letting us know why sky is blue. Let me tell you, the field in which Sir C V Raman was acoustics, which means sound. But what he was trying to discover right now was optics, meaning something to do with light. Sir Raleigh was way too senior to Sir C V Raman in the field of optics. In life, in our life, often we come across questions and then we come across answers from our seniors, from our elders, from someone who's more learned to us. We may not be satisfied with the answer, but then they are telling us. We wouldn't doubt them. we would probably doubt ourselves. I wonder why we do that. Well, Sir C V Raman had a very curious, inquisitive mind. He said, the sky is blue throughout, but the water isn't. I'm so sure there's something else to it. The minute he touched the shores of Bay of Bengal, he set up a lab. A very simple lab. I'm talking about the pre-independence era, where everyone was fighting for the freedom of our country. To have a luxurious lab to do an experiment was, well, a distant dream. Sir C V Raman, with whatever he had, continued his experiments, and he found out that when you pass a monochromatic light, that's a single colored light, through the liquid medium, the other side of the medium, you would see another light. So he kind of got to know that this is the nature of the light, and then the frequency which makes the color of the water blue or turquoise green or whatever it's reflecting. But then he wanted to go a little further so that there's a proper culmination of this research he was doing, and to make it universal. He tried it with gas, he tried it with solids, and finally in the year 1928, on this very day, February 28th, the law, Raman scattering law, became universal. And Sir C V Raman went ahead in the year 1930 to win a Nobel Prize for this. I'm so sure you would have observed the fan which is constantly at use and the fan which is hardly at use. The one which is constantly running has a thick muck of dust collected around the rim. It's because the particles around the blades are getting charged, and hence it attracts. But then the fan, which is hardly at use, has no dust collected. Friends, let us channelize our energy to the questions that arise, like the fan which constantly runs. The universe will send in the solutions to us. Like what Sir C V Raman rightly said, ask the right questions and nature will open the doors to her secrets.